I knew I had wanted to move a couple of years before we moved. And the way that happened was John and I both were sitting on the couch. I was on Facebook and I was scrolling through Facebook and this house popped up. And I was like, John, look at this house. I really like it. And so I saw there was a realtor's name on there and it said Hafner Realty. And John's like, I don't know if you want to click on that or not, because somebody's going to end up calling. And I was like, well, I want to see the house. If I don't click on it, I'm not going to be able to see the house. So I clicked on it and it asked me for my email and my phone number and how all that goes. So the next thing I knew, I get a phone call. It was like instant. And I said, John, I'm not answering the phone. Don't answer the phone. Don't answer the phone. And the phone rang again. John said, you really need to answer the phone. You want to look at the house, so you really need to answer the phone. I was like, if he calls back, I'll answer the phone. If he doesn't, that means it wasn't meant to be. So the phone rang again. And John said, answer the phone. If you really want to move, do you really want to move? I was like, I really do. I really do. So I answered the phone. It was you, Joe. You had texted me, you had called me back, and we had made an appointment to visit the house.
And I told her, I said, we'll see if it's God. I said, depending upon this guy, and his beliefs, we'll see if it's of God or not. And we get there, and Joe says, well, let's pray about it. And I was like, yeah, I like this guy. This is cool. Me and Bev both been, God-loving, Christ-loving, born-again children. That was one thing that was important to me, that someone that had that mindset would guide us on this journey.
We met at the house that day, and John and I, we didn't really like that house. No. So it took a few months for us to find the house that we moved into. We really just took into consideration how blessed we were, and how, it took a few years for us to get to that part of our blessing. And if it hadn't have been for you, Joe and Dion, we never would have made that journey by ourselves. The funny thing is, before we started looking at houses, I was kind of scoping you out on the internet, because in my heart, I knew that I wanted somebody that really knew what they were doing.
We purchased our home before we sold our old home. We were in a unique situation where our old home was paid off, so we was able to not be rushed, I guess, through the moving process. We got our house ready. Joe helped us make some changes to the house, painting, some things that were not, the house kind of looked dark, so we kind of brightened everything up. And once we did that, we started getting a lot more buyers, future buyers into the home. The process was easy. Then COVID hit, and when it finally closed and it was gone, it was just, what a relief. I remember when I walked in at closing on the new house and just stood in the kitchen with tears rolling down my face for what an adventure and what God had let me be a part of, and how blessed I was to be able to buy that home. It was awesome.
The small things that you and Dion do on a day-to-day basis to help your buyers are very important. When you're in the business, you know what you're doing. And, that was my whole prayer. Lord, send us somebody that knows what they're doing in this business.
We learned a lot from the process, but we never could have asked for two better realtors and people to coach us and move us along. So we appreciate it, guys.
And we sincerely mean that.
Mm-hmm. We would recommend Hafner Real Estate to anyone and not feel bad about it.
You treated us as your family from the get-go, and that was very important to us. You know, you two don't really meet a stranger when it comes to your buyers, and you treat your buyers like family, and that's very important.
Yeah, one thing I walked away from is that Joe and Dion had my back. They were our realtors, and they had our best interest in mind. And it was comforting to know that. You know, nowadays you get a lot of realtors, and the pocketbook is what they have in mind and interest. And they were our realtors. They backed us, and that's one thing that I enjoyed from this too. So.
We never could have made the journey without you guys, truly. And we both love you very much.